everyone. I welcome all of you who have gathered today and also those watching our live stream on YouTube. Yesterday only, Nadav Lapid, chairperson of International Competition Jury at the 53rd IFFI, put it so beautifully. Main idea of a film festival is not to present single vision of cinema, but it is to have a variety of options. And for that same reason, for this press conference, we have cast and crew of not just one but three films from three different parts of India. This only points to the wide array of films being screened at the 53rd IFFI, Goa. The first film is a Hindi film, KHAJURAHO, ANAND or MUKTI, which was screened under the Indian Panorama category. Can we have the trailer, please?
This is an extraordinary image, nowhere to be found anywhere in the world.
खजुराहो के इन मंदिरों में जीवन आनंद और जीवन मुक्ति के रहस्य छुपे हैं।
It is the desire to maintain the highest form of civilization.
सहस्रशीर्षं देवं विश्वाक्षं विश्वशम्भुवम्
We have with us director and producer Deepika Kothari ma'am and the co-director Ramji Om sir. Now for those who haven't watched the film, I will try to give a brief synopsis. The Khajuraho temples are popularly known for erotic sculptures, but there are philosophical mysteries hidden behind the erotic reliefs. The mysteries of yoga and Samkhya at the Lakshman temple of Khajuraho are unveiled in this documentary. All the erotic and non-erotic imagery is an integral part of the Vedic and Puranic Hindu culture. The Khajuraho Lakshman temple, considered as the abode of Vaikuntha Vishnu, unravels these aspects in its supremely exquisite art forms in the film. Moving on to the second film, which is in Sanskrit, YAANAM. This non-feature film was also screened under the Indian Panorama section at the 53rd IFFI. So if we can have the trailer, please.
अनेन अन्वेषणेन भारतदेशे अगाध बहिराकाश नियोगानां विविध
त्रयोदशोत्तर द्विसहस्रतम वर्षस्य लक्ष्यम् अधिगन्तुं क्लेशकः
C17 में G set
and see the
3, 2, 1, 0 plus 1, 2. आज मंगल को मॉम मिल गई।
We have with us the producer of the film, A.V. Anup sir. Now for those who haven't watched the film, here's a brief summary. So YAANAM portrays India's dream project, Mangalyaan, Mars Orbiter mission, as the first science-based documentary in Sanskrit in the history of world cinema. It shows the capabilities and expertise of the Indian Space Research Organization, the stellar performances of the talented space scientists, and the importance of Sanskrit language. revealing how India overcame an arduous interplanetary journey for a monumental victory in the first attempt itself. It is based on the autobiographical book My Odyssey by former ISRO chairman Padma Bhushan Dr. Radhakrishnan. The third film that we have today is a Kannada film, MADHYANTARA. This was also screened under the Indian Panorama section of the 53rd IFFI Goa. Can we have the trailer, please?
You pick the time. Tick 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 tick. Tick 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 tick.
ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ.
Representing the film, we have with us the director, Basti Dinesh Shenoy, and the lead actor, Ajay Neenasam. Now, for those who haven't watched the film, I'll try to give a brief synopsis. It's about two little boys growing up in the 1970s in Karnataka, working as waiters at a small eatery in a Mofussil town. Their poverty is not an impediment for their love of cinema. This film explores their journey from being a pedestrian film buffs to their lucky foray into the world of filmmaking and their eventual journey towards becoming film directors. Now, let us know briefly about each of the films. So, we will start with the first film, KHAJURAHO, ANAND or MUKTI. So, Deepika ma'am, if you can briefly tell us about the film, how did the idea come to you? And what has your journey been like shooting the film and then finally screening it at the 53rd IFFI Goa?
We are honored and delighted to have come here again this year. Last year our film Bharat, Child of Nature was screened here under the Indian Panorama. This is the second film, KHAJURAHO, ANAND and MUKTI. So this is of course a great honor for us. This KHAJURAHO film is basically part of the 24 episode series under Indian Civilization, which we have recently launched. This film is basically a documentation of the 25 KHAJURAHO temples. Now they are the 1,000 years old temples. Of course they are in ruins, but this is what we have in North India left of that centuries ago monuments, you can say. So, and we've also wanted to learn what these temples tell us about. Generally people think that why temples, now there are a lot of questions, why temples, why not hospitals or why not schools and all that, but I think they tell us far more deeper things about ancient India, not only the culture, not only the trade, not only the social life of that time, and of course the whole kavya that was encapsulated into these in different art forms and other things. And of course there is a beautiful and magnificent sculpture. They tell us a lot about our philosophy, which generally we don't know. They are actually open books, you can say, to learn from, and we have become very illiterate about our temples. So we wanted to bring this film and tell our younger generation especially what is it about. So we made this film. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Now the film also has a lot of philosophical undertones. There are a lot of themes going on, which Ramji sir was telling me also. So sir, if you can also tell our audience briefly, what are some of these themes that you wanted to explore?
So we just wanted to actually show you that what is available there. So first we found that there are Vedic Devatas. So all the 33 Koti type, how should I translate it? It is very difficult, but 33 type of devatas are there. And as far as sculpture is concerned, it is an encyclopedia of Indian art, the Khajuraho itself. So we just explored in this documentary. We just explored one temple, which is Vishnu temple, Vaikuntha Vishnu temple. The Vaikuntha tradition was more there in Kashmir and maybe in Afghanistan. So this temple is dedicated to Vaikuntha Vishnu temple, and there are various philosophical ideas, and very interestingly, one contemporary play is also given some place in the whole scheme of the temple, and that is Sanskrit play Prabodh Chandrodaya, written by Krishna Mishra, and how it is displayed on the wall, juncture wall of the temple that we have shown. But above all these, actually we found that the Sankhya philosophy is there, and this was noticed by us, explored by us when we made our film History of Yoga. So, and there is a statement of great writer Bankim Chand Chatterjee that it is not the flag of Tantra which flies on the temples of Khajuraho, but the Sankhya. Basically, Sankhya's flag is flying over the temples of Khajuraho.
I just want to add something here.
Yes, ma'am.
Like even in the introduction you said that there are those erotic figures and all that, and that's how it's a World Heritage Site and people from around the world visit Khajuraho temple. It's a very main tourist attraction, but that's not at all. It's only the 10% of it, and why they are there? Because they wanted to hide, the Sutradhars wanted to hide deep philosophies. So that's why they made those sculptures. And of course, if you watch the film, you will know what it is about. So it is not about this whole the notion that it is erotic temples and Vedic and other Puranic texts have this all. That is not the case. It is basically, as Ramji said, that it is a whole encyclopedia of our philosophy and the whole temple architecture that is there. So it's not eroticism displayed on Khajuraho temple. Yes, there are few, but that has a purpose, deeper purpose, yeah.
The way you have explained, ma'am, I'm sure our audience's interest has been is peaking for watching this film. Now we move on to A.V. Anup sir. So sir, would you like to tell us something about YAANAM?
Thank you. First of all, thank you. Am I audible? Thank you. First of all, let me thank you all for letting this movie in the Panorama session. I have represented before also. Last time I came with a feature film, Olu, directed by the famous director Shaji and Garun, and previously with a short film. So I'm happy that I could represent all categories of movies in Indian Panorama now. This YAANAM is, as mentioned here, a science Sanskrit documentary based on Mars orbitary mission of ISRO. When the director, Mr. Vinod Mangara, he is also a national award winner and multiple awards winner. He read the autobiography of Padma Bhushan, Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, My Odyssey. Then immediately he called me and said that one particular chapter in that book is very interesting, why don't you go through it? Then immediately I also read the entire book, not that particular chapter, but I also liked that chapter about Mangalyaan mission. It's definitely our country's pride. And when a time, everyone thought that it was not possible. In fact, that time NASA failed 3 times and 4th attempt only they were succeeded. And only 3 countries achieved this feat. But at that time, India government sanctioned only 425 crores of rupees when NASA spent 1,600 crores prior to that and failed 3 times. So it was a very difficult mission for ISRO officials. And we wrote to ISRO many letters seeking permission to do this, but unfortunately nothing happened. To our luck, Dr. Somana, the present ISRO chairman, took charge, and he happened to see our letters, and then he called us and then said, yes, we are doing it. So that is why we got the permission. In fact, many other movies have come about Mangalyaan mission, but nobody could use ISRO name properly with their permission. So we are lucky that ISRO accepted our proposal, and it's a very confidential and security bounded area. So we could shoot in all the 4 southern states. Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in Trivandrum, Tumba, Sriharikota in Andhra, and their headquarters, ISRO headquarters in Bangalore, Karnataka, and also one of the oldest observatory in Kalaur, Tamil Nadu. So all the 4 states we shot the movie, and everywhere we were permitted to shoot, and they provided us all the materials what they had during the launch time. So I'm happy that I could do this, and I'm getting very good response. I'm getting invitations from many science students, science colleges like Indian IIT. Then there are more than 500 colleges that teach Sanskrit in India now. So they are all inviting. It's a very good feeling as a producer of YAANAM.
Sir, ISRO is definitely pride of India. And sir, if you could share with us, why did you decide to make this film in Sanskrit only?
That's what, when we decided to make this film as India's pride, many people advised us that you do it in our heritage language, Sanskrit, because that language is also India's pride. And also there is a misconception that this language belongs to only one particular religion or particular community and all. And we wanted to show that we can use this language for a science film also. And especially when we send this movie to other countries, anyway, whatever language you take, you need English subtitles. And I'm very happy that I have a brochure that already so many international films we got selected, and won also already. So almost every week we are getting selections to different international film festivals. So I think that language is also helping us.
Sir, I'm sure the film will go on to win many more awards. Now we move on to Madhyantar. So if the director Dinesh sir could share a few thoughts and ideas as to what inspired the film, and how did the whole project came to fruition, sir.
Thank you. Actually, Madhyantara is a lockdown baby. So if there was no lockdown, I don't think I would have got this idea, because I have been into filmmaking since last 26 years, and I started my career as a cinematographer, and later on I started working as a production executive. So one is always busy when you are in production, so you don't have time to take a pause and get ideas. But because I was a freelancer, I don't have a day job, so all I did was to read books or see videos or films in OTT platforms. So I also somehow bumped into some videos pertaining to Kannada film industry particularly, and they were taking interviews of many technicians, drivers, actors, all sorts of people belonging to Kannada film industry, and they were talking about the cinema of 70s and 80s, which I also could relate, because that was the time I started watching movies, and I would not miss even a single movie. So I could relate to everything, whatever they are saying. So I started getting this idea. A genesis idea came when I was watching an interview with a producer. So I thought I should do something about it, and I started writing. I did not have any plan, like this will go to festival, this will go do this will do that. I just wanted to write. And I took some 4 months to write the first draft. After that, I thought the kind of research I have done in the last 4 months, I must have seen, I revisited all those movies which I had watched in my childhood. And I started, my research was that, to watch Kannada movies of that era and read books about people who worked in movie making in that era. And of course, these YouTube channels helped me a lot to have life. And in my story, I borrowed from many older generation technicians' life experiences. So, yeah, so whatever I did research on, and I thought I would not be able to transfer it to someone else's mind, and I thought I decided to make this, direct this film. Then this is my first directorial venture when it comes to fiction. I am dabbling into corporate films most of the time, and I end up directing some of them. So it's not new for me, but this is for the first time I was directing a fiction. Then I started bouncing it to my friends and colleagues. And they were also very, very positive about it. And they encouraged me a lot to, okay, no, I am there with you, you just go ahead. And I started meeting people, and I live in Delhi. I've been living in Delhi since last 26 years. I came back to Bangalore, and 2021, all I did was to meet people. Old people and people who have archival photographs, all those people. And that was my part of my research, and an attempt to create a team. And then we locked the crew at the end of 2021, and I moved to Delhi, Bangalore in December 2021, and till now I am working on that project. Yes, we shot in the month of September, and we shot it in celluloid. We used a 16mm camera, and yeah, that's our USP of the film. That idea came from our executive producer, who sourced the camera for us for free of cost. And it was not a low budget, because after working for 26 years in filmmaking, you can't think small. And the kind of projects I have been into in all my career are some TV commercials and big Bollywood movies, and they don't think small. So even though I did not have money, I never thought let us let us cut corners. No, if you see the film, you will know that yes, it looked like a professional product, and all big professionals worked for us, and they were very helpful. Like we have Siddhant Mathur in the audience, and he's the music composer of YAANAM, the web series. Yes. So yes, when we sent the copy in the month of August, it was still work in progress. It was 75% ready. But since the deadline was approaching, we just sent we didn't want to wait one more year, but we were lucky. I don't know whether we are lucky or, but we felt very nice when our work got recognized by the jury, and they thought it deserves a screening in the prestigious IFFI. In Indian Panorama, because we did not made the film for festivals in particular. We just wanted to make it and prove what our team can achieve. So, yes, here we are.
Sir, maybe the jury was trying to tell you to make more of feature films and less of corporate
I'll take that seriously and
yes,
make...
now, if we can have a few words by the lead actor Ajay sir. So sir, you play the role of a film buff. which I'm sure you must be in real life also. So was it difficult to play the role, and what did you like about the script? Please share with us.
I would like to speak in Kannada because I'm comfortable in it.
Yes, sir. Sure.
ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಏನಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಚಿಕ್ಕಂದಿನಿಂದನೂ ಇಂಥ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅನುಭವಗಳು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಲ್ಲೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಟಿ ವಿ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಟಿ ವಿ ಚಾನಲ್ಸು ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಾನಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ಸ್ ಬರೋ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಮಗಿದ್ದಿದ್ದು DD1 ಮಾತ್ರ, DD1 ಮತ್ತು ಚಂದನ. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಭಾನುವಾರ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಂಜೆ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ನಮಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾನುವಾರ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಥವಾ ಲೇಟಾಗಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, ಇದು ಹಿಂಗಾಯಿತು, ಈಗ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಫೈಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಇದು ಹಿಂಗಾಯಿತು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಈ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೇ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರದ ಒಂದು ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ಈ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಶುರುವಾದಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ಮೊದಲು ನಾನು ಇದರ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ಲಾಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಪ್ಯಾಷನೇಟಾಗಿ ಸಿನಿಮಾದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪ್ರೇಕ್ಷಕನ ಕತೆ ಇದು ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಮೇಕರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ನೋಡುಗನ ಪಾತ್ರ ಇದು. ಅವನು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ನೋಡುಗ, ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಅವನು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮೇಕರ್ ಆಗಿ ಬದಲಾಗೋವಂಥ ಪಾತ್ರ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಅನುಭವಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತು ಈ ಸಿನಿಮಾ. ಅವರು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಟೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕಥೆ ಹೇಳುವವನಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಸೊ ನಾವು ಚಿಕ್ಕಂದಿನಿಂದಲೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ ಇಂಥ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದಿನೇಶ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಟೀಮ್, ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್. ಆ ಪೀರಿಯಡಿನ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಬೋತ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗಿದೆ, ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗಿತ್ತು, ಸೊ ಈ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ನ ಲೈಫ್ ಹೀಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಹಕಾರ ಆಯಿತು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ತುಂಬ ಒಂದು ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ ಪಾತ್ರ ಇದು, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಹೆವಿನೆಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಸೊ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಇನೋಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ನನಗೆ ಈ ಪಾತ್ರ ಕಟ್ಟುವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮರಿಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ಸ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅವನಿಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟಿ ವಿ ಚಾನಲ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಆ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ಗಳನ್ನು ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವನ ಇನೋಸೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ತರೋ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Now, if Dinesh sir can tell us what, sir, for our international audience.
Yeah, basically what he said was the role which he played, which is about a boy in 1970s and 80s, and even though he himself is a film buff, and the role is that of a film buff who, after watching the film, is very good in narrating what he saw. So in real life also, he says in villages, not everyone watches the film, and he has to narrate it to others because very limited scope to watch the film. So since he is also already good at it, and he could relate to the character, and he also said that while doing this, he had to unlearn many things, because we were talking about voice of 1970s, and nowadays we are exposed to TV, OTT, and mobile phones, and in 1970s there was none. So he says he had to unlearn many things to go back to that era. Go to that era.
Thank you, sir. Now the floor is open to questions. Please pass the mic.
Yeah, very good afternoon to everybody in the panel. My question is to Mr. Dinesh sir. Though your film starts, as you told, in your grown-up days, inspired in mid-70s, where at that time, even today in Kannada film industry, the director due means, only we come to know Dorai Bhagwan.
Yes.
So you also taken two characters. So by the time in 70s, they were at the peak of their career. So how much there was any pre-influence of them to take as two persons, anything? Can you share how this two, to make two characters, as you told, the films also between two intervals, one people will be watching, but how much Dorai Bhagwan played influence on you in this Madhyantara? Can you share? Thank you.
it's not a reference to Dore Bhagwan, but it is always back of the mind, because I had seen some more than 50 interviews of Mr. Bhagwan by the time I started writing this. But the genesis I got, the idea I got, is from a person who was a producer of that era, Mr. Manik Chand. And when in an interview, the interviewer asked him, "Nimge cinemada huchellinda shuru aitu." So he started narrating how he used to watch films when he's in his childhood, maybe in mid 60s or so. So in his hometown, the ticket would cost 50 paise. And he was just matter of factly telling him that I would not get pocket money. So I would contribute 25 paise, and other friend of mine would contribute 25 paise, and we would buy a ticket, and he would watch the first half and I would watch the second half, and we would exchange the stories after the movie. So that was the genesis of my film. So there was always two people, and the reference was always in my back of the mind. So it helped me to get that reference of Dore Bhagwan in the end. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Anup sir, as you told, you told the film, like earlier also Mission Mangal came with Akshay Kumar and other things. They also claimed a little bit we got this one, access to the ISRO in Bangalore or Hassan. So how much, I apologize, I could not see your film. So how much it's different from feature film which released on a grand scale like a commercial movie of Akshay Kumar? Thank you.
Now, commercial movie is scripted to make audience happy, whereas our film, all the shots are actuals. During that process what has happened, and after that we went there and then shot, and it's a documentary. So the story is based on the autobiography of Dr. Radhakrishnan. So it is 100% based on what actually happened, who were the VIPs at that time. The film starts with, actually this project was announced during Dr. Manmohan's time. So we are showing his first announcement also about Mangalyam project, what they planned. So all actual visuals, plus we personally went with our crew and then shot.
Happy that you have taken Sanskrit, because everybody says it's not only Daiva Bhasha. In the globe, whatever we know is Sanskrit and German are only two which also related to science. Thank you.
Even in Germany they promote Sanskrit now.
Yeah, that's what. It's here. It's, as you told, it's labeled like its community are based on.
So I'm happy that first science film with the Sanskrit language. That way I'm very happy.
Thank you. And okay, I will come back to you because I forgot in between. Thank you.
Question is to you, sir, that you said it's in Sanskrit language, so I would be interested in knowing what was the audience reaction when the screening was going on, because everybody was so excited because this is the only film that was there in IFFI is in Sanskrit language. So a kind of publicity it has got even before the screening was excellent. So I would like to know what was their reaction in the screening hall.
It was excellent. I don't know whether you have seen last week Amitabh Bachchan's KBC. It was a question in KBC, and I'm happy that the question actually went to audience, and more than 40% of audience voted for it, and he won it. So that way I'm happy that even before the release of the film, so many people are aware of it. And here also, and the language, especially those who speak Hindi and even South Indian languages, with the simple Sanskrit we used, it was easy to follow, and also with English subtitle. And Kerala Trivandrum Sanskrit College professors helped us, and Samskrita Bharati also helped us.
Please pass the mic.
It's for Ramji sir and Deepika. Hey, madam, recalled because 30 years back there was a philosopher and late Padma Shri awardee Bananjay Govindacharya from coastal Karnataka. So he has 30 years back he has already came out with a book in Kama Sutra and KHAJURAHO, other things apart from philosophers of Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya. So this I wanted to just convey. 30 years back only he promoted more of Kama Sutra and KHAJURAHO temples, other things in print media. That it's not something which to be seen as vulgar or erotic, that one. Just I wanted to convey this message. I don't know how much you have known about him, but I wanted to share this. Thank you.
My question is to Ramji sir. Sir, you said that you are doing a series on Indian civilization, of which this this non-feature film documentary is also a part of. So, what other future projects do you have in mind? What other aspects of Indian civilization do you plan to cover?
So, some of the aspects we have already covered. Like we have covered how the concept of India is on what principles the concept of this nation state is based. That is, as Deepika ji said, our film, last year film, Bharat Prakriti Ka Balak. And one episode is on the continuity of Indus Valley civilization and Vedic civilization till date. Very small episode. One episode is what can be called Indian philosophy. There are many philosophical schools in India, but we arrived on one concept called Indian philosophy and how it compares with Western philosophy. And there are other episodes like one is on Ram, Shri Krishna and Buddha. And one episode is on temples. So this KHAJURAHO film is a part of that temple episode. Then one episode is in destruction of the civilization, like the invasion and all the destruction. And the last episode is about the colonization and their exploitation, and how the civilization actually crushed because of that exploitation. And we have other ideas, very well researched topics, which I think we are not sure which one will go first, but I think this science, how Indian science developed, and there are other films also on science, Indian science, Ayurveda, and there are many concepts which we have researched, and future projects will come on that. Yes.
My question is to Anup sir. Sir, I have visited ISRO myself, and it's hard to even click one picture there. How did you manage to shoot this whole film? And you told us that you shot in all southern states. So how did that happen?
That's why I mentioned. Yeah, it was with the help of present ISRO chairman Somnath sir. And in fact, when the movie was first launched in Chennai, in the presence of almost all top space center heads, I think this is the first time ISRO chairman, VSSC director, Sri Harikota director, Indian Institute of Astrophysics director, all of them attended a private function first time. So what I announced there was, I found a good production controller for me here, because ISRO chairman was acting as a production controller to make everything smooth. So without his help, it was not possible.
For our Dinesh and I, sir. Sir, first of all, congrats for the one good film, sir. And you are all telling the USB of celluloid Super 16. Please explain why you choose the Super 16 and how it helped the telling the story, sir.
Basically, the era was of 70s and 80s when there was no digital, not even VHS had come that time. So it was all celluloid. So we wanted to capture that era in as many ways as possible. Like what do you do to show a particular time? You know, you choose a location which looks like that era. Basically, you have to take the audience, transport the audience to that era. So in an effort to get that period right, so it was one of the decisions our team took to use 16mm camera. And I hope when you watched the film, you would have also observed that, yes. Yeah, that grains, film grains, and those scratches, yes. That was the main reason why we chose celluloid. Yeah.
I mean, where it happened, still that raw stocks and the camera and the processing, where it's still...
It happens in Bombay. I think, according to my knowledge, it happens only there nowadays, because we were shooting in Bangalore and we didn't find any facility to process it either in Bangalore or Chennai or Hyderabad. So I think we got it all done in Bombay. It was a difficult... Pardon me?
Prasad Labs?
No, they also don't have a processing unit for negatives now. There's a lab called Film Lab who processes, and since there is no demand, they don't process it all 6 days of the week. It's on alternative days. Yeah.
So now today, coming to chips or digital,
yeah.
I think this is very expensive now still. And
yes, it's very expensive, very risky, because we were shooting in Bangalore, and it was sent to Bombay by bus, and we did not have the budget to send every day. So we used to send once in 3 days. So basically, if you have shot something today, the result you would get after 4 days, whether the focus is right or exposure is right. And if you have any problem for out of focus or heavy or the difference in exposure, then you have to reshoot. But luckily, we had a very efficient camera team, so luckily we did not have to do that. Otherwise, we would have been in a soup, because we were jumping from location to location every day.
To add on editing process, what happened on digital after conversion, or again that also went through strips?
No, there is no editing facility now, and once the processing is done, it would go for the scanning, and he would give us 2K scans, and our editor edited using the scanned images.
So-called earlier had telecine process.
Yeah, it is. Yes, telecine is the term we used initially. Now we just use a scan. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
This movie is released?
This is a short film, sir. 39 minutes long.
It is available?
No, it is. We just finished it last month, and this is the first time it was shown in public. So we are just planning to do what to do with it.
My question is, actually, I was a part of the Madhyantara team, and I made music for that. But my question is actually for Anup sir.
Because he asked all the questions. So
I haven't seen the film yet, but I just saw the trailer, and I'm very curious as to how you could decide to go ahead with a Sanskrit documentary, where the native language of people involved in is not Sanskrit. So how did you go about? Did they have to learn the language to be a part of the film, or how did you think about the narrative and the documentary together in Sanskrit?
Yeah, luckily both of them are familiar with this language, and all of them knows a lot of slogas. They chant slogas very well. So with the proper script, they were able to do it. And the narration also given by a person who knows Sanskrit, a Keralite only. And you are from Bangalore?
No, I'm not actually. I'm from Allahabad and spent most of my time in Delhi.
And another interesting point which I would like to share is that these people are all art lovers. Radhakrishnan sir has learned Kathakali and is a very popular Carnatic musician now. And Indian Institute of Astrophysics director Annapurni, she's a violinist. And in the ancient scripts there is a mention about Mars, and there is a sloga available. So Radhakrishnan sir chanted that sloga with Annapurni's violin. So that also we used in this film. So that way, art also connected in this movie.
Okay, that's amazing. I see there's a lot of universal alignment in the come together of this film. Thank you.
Thank you.
As much as we would want to go on and on talking about films to our guests here, the guests for the next press conference are also waiting. So I would like to wind up this IFFI table talk. I would like to thank all the guests on the dais for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.